Hello, my name is Agatha, and this is the astrological prediction for January 2017 for all signs. I repeat, for all signs. I'm going to do this a little bit differently. So, the full moon happens on the 12th of January 2017 at 22 degrees of Cancer, and then the new moon happens at happens on the 28th of January 2017 at 8 degrees of Aquarius. So, what does this mean for you, Aries? So for you, Aries, this full moons are endings or culminations, means that for some it might mean that you move to another place, or finally you get to sell your house or your home, or finally you get to buy a new place, a new home. Finally you get to either move out of your apartment and rent another place, or you have a new roommate, or something comes to an end within your family environment. For some of you, it even might be a separation or a divorce. Some of you might need to leave where you live because maybe your spouse just found a new job, and he or she needs to move for this new job, and you need to follow him or her. And then Aries, the new moon happens on the 28th of January. It's going to be at 8 degrees of Aquarius, and it's going to happen on your 11th house. For some of you, might be like a new community, a new group of friends. It might mean also that you are establishing new long-term plans, new goals, planning out your future. And others also, it might mean that you finally are getting the rewards from your job, from your career. It could be that also. Now, moving on to Taurus. So, in your case, Taurus, this full moon in Cancer, where is it going to happen? It's going to happen in your third house, so it could be an ending or culmination connected with a sibling. So a sibling might end something. Let's say a sibling, for instance, might have a kid, or a sibling might end a job and find a new job, or maybe like a sibling might be separated. It has many different ways of reading it. It could also mean that you might have like a big argument with a sibling. It could be that. Or if you never get along with that sibling in particular, this could be like the argument to end all arguments. And this might have to do with maybe perhaps something to do with money, something to do with inheritance. Maybe you find out that your sibling took more money than he or she was supposed to, and this is why you argue with him or her. Also, this could be like a very big conflict, for instance, with a neighbor or a group of neighbors. I would say more like a neighbor. I'm going to give an example. Maybe you find out that this neighbor has been stalking you. I hope not, but I'm just reading the planets and the aspects they make. There's like a square to Uranus on the 12th house, and Uranus is not the stalker type of planet. That would be Pluto. But it's in the 12th house, so it might be something hidden that comes to the light. Uranus is transiting your 12th house, and it makes a square to this full moon on the 3rd house. It could be also a shocking secret which is revealed, connected with a sibling or with neighbors. This also could be for others. Your car just dies, absolutely dies, and there's impossible to resurrect it, or in order for you to get it, if you can go to the mechanic, but it will be extremely expensive, and maybe you don't have enough money to or it's not worth it, the money you're going to spend on the mechanic, on the car. Maybe it's better to just buy a new one. Maybe that's it. Maybe some of you will be forced to buy a new car. This could be lots and lots of messages also, that you might receive lots and lots of messages. Some of you, if you are writing it, finally you get to finalize a project in which you are working on. You know, it could be a creative project, could be any type of thing. I said writing, could be writing a book, but it could be, let's say that you are making a game, or you are creating something, some sort of app, whatever. You finish it up, for instance, and it has a few bugs, let's say it, but at least it's done. Others, it could be messages that you get from your group of friends, from a community. And then the new moon in Aquarius, in your case, Taurus, happens on your 10th house. So this is new beginnings connected with your profession, with your career, and this is good beginnings. This doesn't have bad aspects. I think this is a very good lunation. Some of you might be, starting a new profession, a new career. Others, this could be, getting a new boss. Others also, it could be that there's a new path to in someone that has authority in your family. I would say, like maybe your father or your grandfather. He or she is starting a new career. Or maybe getting retired, or something also positive connected, I would say, maybe with your spouse, with your husband, for those of you who have husbands. So, moving on to the next sign, which is Gemini. Where does this full moon in Cancer happens in your case? In your case, this full moon Gemini is going to happen on your 2nd house. This is an ending or culmination connected with your income, with the salary that you earn. So some of you might be finishing up a job, a place of employment. Maybe you are moving to another job, and this is why you get like maybe the last salary. Maybe the salary that you get, it's not as big as you would expect. Maybe you were expecting bonuses, stuff like that, but you don't get that. Or maybe the salary, the minute that you take your money, that you get your salary, the minute that happens, you have to spend with for instance, with your kids, maybe because they need something. Or you might be spending way too much with your friends. Maybe you go out just to see your friends, go out for drinks or something like that, and you realize you're spending way too much. This could be revising your domestic budget. You've revised your domestic budget, and you understood that you're spending way too much. You're spending way too much going out with friends, and you're spending way too much if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend with them. So every time you go out with your significant other, you're spending way too much. Or it could be the other way around, but I'm thinking it's more you. And maybe your kids, they have a very, let's say, expensive hobby. Maybe maybe your child has music lessons, and you realize, no, you're spending way too much. You're revising, and maybe you're cutting the money that you spend with your friends, and the money that you spent with your boyfriend or girlfriend or your kids. Whatever activities that they have, you might be cutting those because it's way too much money. Okay, and then the Gemini, the new moon in Aquarius is going to happen in your 9th house. So maybe you're like cutting or revising your budget because you want to go back to college and you need to pay for those classes, or you want to finish up a college degree and you want to pay for that, so you need to save. Others, it could be that you're planning out a trip, a vacation trip. You're planning it out. You might not go on a trip right now, but you need to save. So this is why you're cutting back in some expenses with friends and maybe boyfriend, girlfriend, or kids, because you need to save for this trip. and you need to pay a big chunk of it around the 28th of January. Others, it could be actually doing a trip. Now, this could be for vacation, yes, but I would say that it's more connected with work. It could be more for work. Others, the vacation, it's not for you, it's your spouse or your long-term partner. He or she needs to, maybe if he or she needs to travel, it's to go to a interview abroad, to go and maybe possibly work in a company, outside of the country where you live in. Now, moving on to Cancer itself. Cancer, where this Cancer, this this full moon in Cancer happens in your first house. So this could be an ending or culmination connected with yourself. For some of you, it might actually mean a separation, a divorce. Finally the divorce comes out. Others, it could be finally ending a college course, something like that. Others, it could be that maybe you decided to end a place of employment. So you need to why are you ending a place of employment? Maybe because you need to follow your spouse to or yourself. Maybe your spouse needs to move to another city or move to another country in order to have work. So you need to finish up your career, even your profession where you live, so you could follow him or her. So these are big endings in your life, I would say, but not necessarily bad, okay? And then Cancer, the new moon is going to happen in your 8th house. So these are new beginnings connected with the money you share. The money you share, for instance, with your partner. Maybe he got a new job or she got a new job, and so this will change the money that you both have. It could be like that. What else could it be? It could be new beginnings also connected with the way you live your intimate, when you are intimate with your spouse. This is a new way of living that part of your life. Others, it could be you very curious about anything to do with the occult, and maybe you're reading about that sort of stuff. Maybe you're just interested. Now, moving on to the next sign, Leo. Leo. Where does the full moon in Cancer happens? It's going to happen in your 12th house. So, for some, a secret might come to light. A family secret might come to light. Yeah. This secret might be connected with money, but not necessarily. It could be connected with money. It could be it could be that, but not just that. A very disturbing type of secret. Something maybe connected with a sibling or a neighbor, or you get a message that reveals to you something which was hidden. Some of you might be getting nightmares, for instance. Very weird, disturbing type of nightmares. Or if you have been, Leo, if you had nightmares for a while, at least around this time, around the 12th of January 2017, they might come to an end, these nightmares, because this is a culmination or an ending. For some of you, it might be if you had been sick. This might mean that finally you get the diagnosis. Others, it might mean that a health situation with you ends, or it's more or less resolved, but not entirely. It will be. It might mean that some of you might need an operation, of some kind. It will resolve somewhat your problems, whatever health issue you had, but not entirely, not completely. Others, it could be you are, relaxing or trying to relax and spending some time alone, but you're not really relaxing. You wish you could be relaxing, but you need that time with yourself, just for you. The new moon in Aquarius, Leo, is going to happen in your 7th house. So for some of you, it might mean that, if you have a partner, you might be advancing to the next phase of your life. What is the next phase? Maybe you decide to move in together. Maybe you decide even to get married. Maybe if you're already married, you decide to have a child, for instance. It could be that. Others, it could be a new beginning in your long-term partner's life. For instance, he or she might get something to do with, might get a new job, or if your partner is, inclined towards creativity of some kind, he or she might start some sort of new creative project. If this is not connected with your partner, it could be you, Leo. You might, the 7th house is the house of contracts, so you might get a new contract, a new work contract. If you work with children, and if you are a teacher, it could be, teaching maybe older kids, even give them creative art classes of that type. These kids could be foreigner, they could be immigrants, or they could be even geniuses of some kind if you are a teacher. Or if you are a creative person yourself, you might get a contract connected with the art that you create. Let's say you're a painter. Maybe a gallery wants to have your paintings, maybe a museum wants to have your paintings. It's something very, very good. Very positive and related to your artistic expression, and even with abroad. Let's say that you write something, you are a writer, so you write something, and immediately maybe a foreign publishing house, foreign publishing house wants to publish whatever you've created. If this is not related to you, if you have kids, this might be a new beginning in your 2nd child's life. A new beginning could be anything: a new job, he or she gets married, gets a girlfriend, gets into college, something like that. It's your 2nd child. Now, moving on to Virgo, where does the full moon in Scorpio happens. In your case, it's going to happen in your 11th house. Some of you might end a few friendships. You might end a friendship with a friend of yours. And why do you end this friendship? Maybe this friend wants to, borrow money from you, and you, Virgo, you say no. Or maybe you have given money to this person, to this friend, and you want that money back, and your friend kind of gets offended, and you get into a fight, and this friend doesn't have the money to give you back, or doesn't want to return money to you, or you need a loan of some kind, even you, Virgo, and you ask money. It could be an emergency from this friend, and this friend says no, and then whatever argument, it might have to do with money, okay? With money. And if it's not that, it could be a large group or organization. Maybe you belong to a large group or organization, but this group of any kind, maybe they've upped their quota on the money that you need to pay in order to be in that group, and it's way too much money, and you don't think it's fair, so you stop going to this organization. So it could be also long-term plans that you had for yourself. Maybe you finalize them at this time, Virgo, or maybe you give up a long-term plan, a long-term objective, an objective and a goal that you always wanted to fulfill, and you give it up because you don't have the money to go after it. You just don't have the money. It could be that. It could be that finally you get the rewards from your job, from your career, from your profession, but the rewards that you get, namely the money associated with these rewards, are not exactly what you expected. You're mad about the money that you got. It's less than you expected, I would say, and your spouse or someone in your family, it's not really all that happy also with the money that you got. Now moving to I am sorry, Virgo, the new moon in Aquarius. Where does it happen? It happens in your 6th house. So it could be actually you are not happy with the money that you got in whatever place you were, and you decide to start a new job. And around the 28th of January, you might have a new place where you work. For instance, some of you, it might be that a new a new workplace, a new job. Others, it could be you can have new colleagues, for instance. Others, it could be that you change your diet, start a new exercise plan, or you can go to the doctor and do like a physical, medical tests and stuff like that. Maybe because it's necessary, but I would say that you'll have good news, because this is generally a very good lunation, the new moon in Aquarius. Now moving on to Libra. Libra. In your case, the full moon in Cancer. Where does it happen? It's going to happen in your 10th house. So for some of you, it's like an ending of a career, an ending of a profession, even of a job. Some of you might be getting retired, for instance. Others, it could be a boss that leaves. Maybe this boss was kind of, no one liked this boss, and everyone is happy that he's left or she has left. It could be like a woman, more or less a woman, or it could be the other way around. Everyone liked this boss, and for some reason he or she got fired, and no one is happy for the fact that this person got the boot. Others, it could be like finally you have a new boss and no one likes this new boss. Everyone thinks that this boss might have like an overly inflated opinion of himself or herself. And he or she doesn't clearly state, doesn't speak in a way that is fully understood by others, And this boss could have come about in a very sudden way. It's like you go to work, Libra, and finally there's like this new boss, and no one expected that. What else? It could be like an authority figure in your life might be retired. You might be retiring, for instance, but it could be like your father is retiring, your grandfather is retiring, even your spouse could be retiring. And again, this could be in a very sudden type of way. And then the new moon in Aquarius, in your case Libra, is going to happen in your 5th house. So these are new beginnings for some of you in romance, in the romance area of your life. You might have a new boyfriend, you might have a new girlfriend. If you have partnered for a while, this could be a new way of living the romance, of living, of being together, you and the person with whom you are with. Others, it could be you've retired, so you decide to have a new hobby. And you decide it could be something to do with new technologies. It could be something even like, learning robotics or something like that. Others, it could be you become a parent, maybe a parent, a father or a mother, and this is why you had to leave. It probably is more like a mother. This is why you had to leave your profession for a while, your career, your job, because you're going to be home for a while Again, this is not forever, it's just for a while. It could be a new beginning in the life of your son or daughter. You know, he or she could, you know, he or she could have like a new boyfriend or girlfriend, start school or college, start a new job, something like that. So it's generally a very good and a very positive lunation in Aquarius. Now, moving on to the next sign, Scorpio. So where does this full moon in Cancer happens in your case? It's going to happen in your 9th house. So this, for some of you, could be an ending of a trip that you took abroad. Maybe it could be for vacation, or it could be for work, but the way it ends, you don't like it. Maybe things didn't work out. Like, let's say that your plane doesn't go out at the right time, or maybe you trying to find, you thought that you had a place or a seat on the plane, you go and you find out that there's no seat, or there's a strike. Something doesn't quite go well with the ending of this vacation or of this trip abroad. Others, it could be finishing up a college degree. It could be that. Maybe you don't get the grades that you wanted, but at least it's done. Others, it could be that you decide to, step away from the church or the temple or the mosque. Maybe you just don't, organized religion makes very little sense to you, and you just stop going. Scorpio. Others, it could be a law decision, a court decision that finally comes out, and this court decision might have to do with your children or your child, something to do with the money that you get if you have the guardianship, like almost full of, if you are the one who takes care of your kids, or even there's a decision connected with the money that you will get, or if you are the one who has to pay. Again, it's the same thing. There's a decision connected with the money, or if not the money, it's like the amount of time you can spend with your children or with your kids. It's not exactly how you intended. If this has to do with money, the money that you'll get, it won't be as much as you wanted. If this has to do with spending time with your kids, you will be awarded a certain amount of time to spend with your kids. Yes, you will be allowed to see them or her or him, but not as much as you'd wish, for instance. And then, Scorpio, the new moon in Aquarius, in your case, where does it happen? It happens in your 4th house. So there could be new beginnings connected with the place where you live, with your home, with your house. Maybe some of you might be buying a house, others might be moving to a new flat, others might be, initiating home improvement repairs or something like that, in order to maybe your house needed, or your home needed, some sort of improvement, and around this time, on the 28th of January, you are able to do so, or just decorating, okay, something to do with that. There could be a new beginning connected with your family, someone in your family, and this new beginning has to do with a new job or some sort of health issue. Family, it's like more intimate family. Your spouse belongs to your family, of course, but it could be like mother, father, sibling, something like that. But I would say that generally this is a very good lunation in Aquarius. And then moving on to the next sign, which is Sagittarius. The full moon in Cancer, in your case, is going to happen on your 8th house. So there's like an ending connected with taxes, with shared resources. So something to do with the money that you share with others changes. Let's say that your spouse, for instance, I'm just going to give this as an example, I'm not saying this is going to happen, your spouse got a new job, or just got fired or something like that. Something ends in his life or her life in terms of the way, for instance, the way he or she earns money, which will affect the money that both of you have, or something changes in your life in terms of employment, and that will change the way that in terms of the money that you both have. Or it could be, it could be, it could be more or it could be less. I'm thinking it's probably less. I'm sorry to tell you this. Okay, it's not exactly what you want to hear, but it could be something else completely different. You can, like, out of the blue, just get an inheritance that will completely change your life. Or if it's not you who gets the inheritance, it could be your spouse or your long-term partner, and that will completely and change your life in something absolutely unexpected and quite shocking. So the money that you have with your partner, suddenly you have lots and lots of it. For some of you, it could be that. I would not say it like it, some of you it could be that, but maybe it's more like having less money, not more money. So others, it could be getting an inheritance, yes, and finally getting that inheritance, but it's not as much money as you thought you'd have, that you'd get. Others, it could be a sudden death in a family that can happen quite unexpectedly, quite out of the blue, Sagittarius. Others, it could be, what else? Something, let's say you decide to get rid of some credit cards because you don't use them, because you need to, be more aware of the money you spend. So you get rid of some credit cards, you get rid of some insurances. Maybe you change more expensive insurances with others, with other less expensive insurances. Others, it could be like the end of alimony. Maybe the alimony that you'd get, you stop receiving it, or the money that you get, child support, you stop receiving it, maybe because your kid has reached, majority, or he or she is like 18 years old, so no more child support, something like that, that may come to an end. Other things, it could be something to do with taxes. The way you pay taxes was in a certain way, but now it's going to change. You might get the news that the money that you used to pay in terms of taxes used to be in a way, now it's going to be different, and it might be like much more than you expected, Sagittarius. Others, it could be the end of a sexual affair. Maybe you were seeing someone, but then you discover that the person whom you were seeing, it's not, he or she is not seeing just you. He or she is seeing lots of people, and this is why you end this relationship with him or her. Others, for health reasons, Sagittarius, also might end, the way, let's say you have sex in a certain way, or you are intimate in a certain way, but maybe there needs to be changes in the way that you are with your spouse or partner. It needs to be made for health reasons, temporarily, not forever, okay? I'm sorry. And then the new moon, Sagittarius, happens in your new moon in Aquarius happens in your third house. So this could be, maybe you're writing a book. It's a new book if you are the writing type. If you write books, it's a new, maybe you're getting lots and lots of messages. Also, it could be that. Maybe if you are the sort of person who gives lectures, maybe suddenly you're getting lots and lots of bookings. If you're a comedian, you're getting lots and lots of bookings. It could be for some of you a new car, no. Others, it could be a new beginning in the life of your sibling, if you have siblings, or of your cousin, if you don't have siblings. Others, it could be you might have new neighbors also. But generally, I would say this is a very positive new moon in Aquarius, Sagittarius. Now, moving on to the next sign, which is Capricorn. Capricorn. The full moon in Cancer happens in your 7th house. So for some of you, it could actually be a separation, finally a divorce that comes out, the final decision in terms of getting everything signed on paper. Others, it could be that a contract that you have might suddenly end. Maybe your company that you work for or your boss just kind of wants to get rid of you, and he or she just finds an excuse to end, like quite suddenly, the contract that they have with you. So, or your contract is not renewed, and you did expect your contract to be renewed, and it's not. Others, it could be an ending connected with your spouse's life. Let's see, he or she might be fired, for instance, or he or she might get a new job. Yes, it could be that also. Another way of reading it is like maybe something quite suddenly might happen in your spouse's family life. Let's say maybe a mother or grandmother, someone, a female in his side of the family might suddenly, die. I'm giving all possible examples. I'm not saying this will happen, okay? Another way of reading it is like a sudden ending, also connected with your second child's life, or he or she might be fired, or he or she might, become a parent, a mother or father. He or she might be married, or he or she might be separated. It's something quite sudden that might happen in your second child's life, and then the new moon happens, Capricorn, in your 2nd house. So new beginnings connected with the way you earn a living, with the way you earn with your money. So, and these are very good beginnings. Okay, so new money coming in on the by the end of January 2017. This could be actually your salary. You might be getting your salary. Some of you, it could be, the changes. If there's no change in terms of work and employment, it's like the way you are paid might change. Maybe you get a little bit more, maybe you get a bonus, something like that. And then moving on to the next sign, which is Aquarius. Aquarius. So this full moon in Cancer, in your case, it's going to happen where? In your 6th house. So actually, for some of you, it might be the end of a job, the end, of a workplace. You used to, and again, it could happen quite suddenly. Or it could be that you, the colleagues that, you had a colleague or some colleagues, and like completely out of the blue, he or she leaves, or they get fired, or something like that. Finally, you can get new colleagues, but you don't like them all that much. What else it could be? It could be the end. It could be the end of a health situation. Maybe there's some sort of problems with your health. And finally, in the 12th of January 2017, finally you might get a diagnosis of whatever health issue you had, or you might simply get the exams. You might have made medical exams a few weeks prior, and now it's the time when you get your exams. Others, it could be if you had like some sort of exercise regime, you end it, you stop doing it for whatever reason, you just stop doing it. What else? Well, Aquarius, the new moon in Aquarius is going to happen in your first house. So it's new beginnings connected with yourself. And these new beginnings could be, maybe you decide to join a different group. Let's say that you ended the way you exercised was in a certain way, and you decide to change the way you exercise. Let's say that you Aquarius, you used to run, and now you don't want to run anymore. Let's say you want to swim, you want to do that. So at the end of January 2017, you decide to join a gym, for instance, and this is a new beginning in your life. What else can it be? This new beginning in your life, you might also talked about it to your sibling, if you have siblings, or to your cousins, or even to a neighbor. This new beginning in your life could even be something like buying a new car, something like that. And then moving on to Pisces. The full moon in Cancer, in your case, where does it happen? It happens in your 5th house. So for some of you, it could be the end of a love affair, of a love interest. Maybe you've been seeing this person for a while, and then maybe you realize that this is not going to work out. And maybe you realize that you're spending way too much money with this person, or this person is only with you because he or she just wants, to benefit and profit from you, Pisces. You understand that the only thing that they are after is your money. It could be that you could come to that realization, yes, or it could be something like you're spending way too much money with them, not that they ask, but you're just, giving them gifts or something like that. Or it could be the other way around, Pisces. This person with whom you were seeing, a boyfriend or a girlfriend, thinks that you only after their money, and they see that they're spending way too much money with you, giving you gifts and something like that, and that's why they end. So there's many different ways of seeing this. It could be also an ending connected with a child's life. Let's say that you come to the realization that you're spending way too much time in ballet classes, or in music classes, or in dance classes, or whatever classes with your kids, and you need to save money, because money for the last few years, it's like up and down, and you need to kind of stop spending so much, because lately you've been noticing that in the last few months you're spending way too much. Why? Because Jupiter is in your 8th house in Libra. So maybe you go to your kid, look, no more piano lessons, no more this or that, or rap lessons, or whatever, or hip hop. I don't know. I'm making stuff up. Whatever activity or activities that your kid has, or your kids have, you'll have to end them, because the money is not enough. Okay, the money is not enough, and they need to end. Others, it could be that your kid, he or she stops seeing someone. The relationship that they had with the boyfriend or girlfriend ends. It could be that something. Also, the other way of reading it is that maybe you got alimony or child support, and maybe your kid has grown up, and because of that, no more alimony, no more support, no more child support, because maybe your kid is 18 or something like that. There might be an end to the financial help connected with the child or your children. Also, it could be that. It could be an ending to a hobby because you don't have the money. It could be that what else? A creative project is ended. you're working on something, but you're spending way too much money in this creative project, so you kind of end it early because of that. And then Pisces, the new moon in Aquarius, it's going to happen in your 12th house. So maybe it's a time for quiet, peaceful research. And what are you researching? You're researching something to do with money and something to do with your career, with your profession, with your job. Maybe you're thinking of changing jobs, or changing careers, and you're thinking to do that in around a year. You have another year, so you can change your jobs, and you like quietly researching. Maybe you're researching what type of online classes you could have to have some sort of certification, so you can change a career, so you can change jobs, so you can have a more stable financial life, for instance. So anything to do with money and stability and job security, that's what you're researching. Okay, so that's it. This is the astrological reading that I have for January 2017 for all signs. This is a very general reading. If you'd like a private consultation, please write to dunyaza@gmail.com and I'd be delighted to work with you. Bye bye.